Just hugely disappointing. I think these games all too often in the last couple of years have followed the same sort of pattern where we actually play fairly well in the game, but it's all for nothing really because we're giving up cheap goals and giving ourselves a mountain to climb. I felt in the first half we actually started the game fairly well, and then we found ourselves 2 goals down fairly quickly. 2 goals off 2 deflections, which probably avoidable. Disappointing, and then we managed to get ourselves back in the game and then shoot ourselves in the foot right before half time. So another mountain to climb, but I thought the second half was more positive. But yeah, just really disappointing. Really, we have to be better. We have to show a little bit more about ourselves to not find ourselves behind. Anybody can play when they're a couple of goals down. It takes a real team to play when things are level or things are in the balance. So not too downbeat, but at the end of the day, it's another defeat here, which is disappointing for us and something we need to remedy quickly because still a lot of season left to play and we have to fix our home form and move on quickly.
Danny, you got the goal tonight and kind of had zero reaction to it, knowing the deficit the team found itself in. I guess, did that kind of just sum up the night? And, when you were going back to the touchline, I guess, what were you thinking about? That it was a one-goal game, or more frustrated that you found yourself in this hole?
I don't think it was that we didn't have a reaction after the goal. We actually asserted more control, and that's when I say we shot ourselves in the foot right before half time. So I thought the reaction was good. It took us a long time to get going after the 2 goals that we conceded, but I think after the goal to make it 2-1, we actually maintained a little bit more control and had more possession in their half. But like I say, we had comfortable possession and then we give away a goal right before half time, which really does change the game. If we go in at 2-1, then we come out the second half with a different sort of less of a mountain to climb, shall we say. But that's the way it was. We managed to get ourselves back within 1 goal again, and we just never managed to take our chances. We actually created fairly reasonable openings tonight. I won't say we had any real clear-cut chances, but we had quite a few shots from the top of the box, some things across the face of goal, but ultimately it wasn't enough on the night, and that's disappointing for us. But we have to dust ourselves down. We've got another game against them on Wednesday. It'll be a completely different game, obviously in the Cup. So we look forward to it. We can't be too despondent, but, we know things have to be better.
Danny, first 2 goals off a deflection, but the third goal, there were a series of moments where danger could have been put out. And that's something that's been a little bit of a theme for the team, even going back to last year. What needs to be better on those sorts of plays?
It's if we knew that, we would be doing it all the time. I think there's, like you say, there was several moments with all the goals really that you could say that things could have been stopped and it would have been prevented, but that's often the case. That anytime there's mistakes in games, that's what leads to the goals. We work on a lot of things. We work on our shape off the ball, but sometimes when you have such clear control and then you give up the ball so quickly in dangerous areas, that's when you can be punished, and that's what happened tonight. Played against a team who seem to always, when they play against us, find their most ruthless streak, and we need to find that when we play against them, because there was very, very little in the game up until that point, but we find ourselves 2 goals down, then we bring it back within 1, and then again 2 goals down right before half time. So gave us a lot to do in the second half. We almost did it, but almost isn't good enough in this spot.
Obviously, you rest the same. You don't want to give up the goals. You can't go behind. But just how much tougher does it make everything you guys are trying to do when they just can sit off on counter, when they kind of make you guys force the action in the game? And what other ways, do you guys think you found success in the second half of getting around how they were trying to just slow things down?
I think these games usually kind of follow that suit. We're the ones that try and force the game, and usually it's because we find ourselves giving up cheap goals against them, and they can sit in and they can play their counter-attacking game, which is what they want to do. They have good players at the top end of the pitch. They have good experience throughout their team, and they're able to do that. But from our side of things, we have to just be better from the first minute. Which things, goals change games. They have a goal that's 30 plus yards that gets deflected twice and ends up in our bottom corner. We have a nice bit of play that their goalkeeper, Zach McMath, pulls one out the top corner. Goals change games. If that goes in, then we could be looking at a completely different night. It didn't. We find ourselves 2 goals down and give ourselves a lot to do. But, it's tough to say because we've gone on a run previously where it felt like things were going for us, and we had that little bit of luck, and it feels that just now that nothing seems to be going right for us. Any little mistake that we make gets punished, so we have to get over that very, very quickly because we've got another game on Wednesday. We have another game next weekend, but one game at a time. We have to try and put right the problems that we're encountering at the moment, because we're not a bad team. You've seen that tonight. We actually played some good stuff and got in some really good areas, but it wasn't to be tonight. But I feel like I'm saying that all too often against them, and it's not something that we enjoy. So we have to just take our medicine and move on to Wednesday and do better.
Danny, Lawless with 3 goals in the last 3 Rocky Mountain Cup matches. Robin even said he wears his emotions on his sleeve, especially in this rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on just your point of view, him on the pitch, off the pitch, with this rivalry?
I think, I mean, you could look towards the game and say that he always does that, but if Lala's passion's just him. Every single game, every single day, he comes in. He's one of those guys that maybe is a little bit too passionate in training sometimes, shall we say, in terms of he's always on it. So happy for him to get the goal tonight. But I'm sure if you asked him, he would have traded the goal for a clean sheet and a win. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. But yeah, he has scored a few. He's a real threat when he goes up into the opposition box. That's a couple of goals already for him this season. And I think we have good deliveries off set plays, and we have guys that will go in and attack it. So we had a lot of chances earlier in the year, and the ball just didn't want to seem to go in for us. We get 2 goals tonight, but like I said, it would have been better if we'd had a clean sheet and those goals on top of it. But it wasn't to be. But we know we're a threat, and we know that going into the games that we always have a chance. With the ball coming in with the guys that we've got in there.
Danny, thinking about Wednesday coming up, considering how much Robin and Johnny and those that have spoken after the Open Cup saying the locker room has taken the competition really seriously this year.
Mhm.
Not that it's not, but
Yeah.
well, I guess what's the mindset got to be, considering it's both still a derby game and a trophy is at the line at the end of the day?
I don't think much changes in terms of the approach to the game. We're here. We should be the team that's on the front foot playing well, as we should have been tonight. When we took it took us going 2 goals down to be that team. We can't be that team on Wednesday. We have to be right there from the off. The cup this year, we've performed fairly well. We've had good results, obviously, that getting this far, but we want to go further. So when the game comes around on Wednesday, we have to be ready for it. There's a short turnaround. We're playing a lot of Saturday, Wednesday games just now, but the boys are coping with it fairly well in terms of the recovery side of things. So we just have to be ready. We have to go into the game believing from the second half performance, and for large parts of the performance tonight, that it was good. But we are well aware that if we're going to have any chance of going through, we have to cut out the stupid mistakes.
Hey, the fans were extraordinary today. Even down 2 goals, they kept
Yeah.
pushing. What are your thoughts on the fans for the game tonight?
Excellent, like you say, backed us all the way. If you were to have a look around, you'd never have known we were behind in the game. The fans were there right to the death, and it was we're just one of the main things that we're disappointed with is we can't send them home happy tonight. They were there in their numbers and in good voice, and we were pushing, trying to get something from the game, and it wasn't to be. So hopefully, if they come Wednesday night, we can give them a little bit more to celebrate than we did tonight.
Yeah, and just how nice was it to get guys back from injury like Keegan and Brian Acosta, and how instrumental are they going to be in turning this whole stretch around?
Yeah, important. They're important players for us. I think if you look at our injuries across the board, you're looking at a lot of guys who are potential starters in the team. You take that away from any team, it's very difficult. But we're quite thin on numbers as it is, so it's important to us to get those guys back, to get them fit and healthy. The guys that have come in have done a good job, but I think everybody would agree that it's nice to have options, and those guys coming back certainly give us that, and that extra bit of experience as well. So good to have them back. Disappointing with the result. Hopefully they're all good for Wednesday and we can have another go at it.
The goals tonight came from the defense, although the team in the second half was very dangerous, plenty of opportunities. Do you think a player like Diego Rubio would be a game changer today?
I think it's easy to say when he's not playing, but I think, you know, everybody knows what Diego gives us when he's on the field. Not just his goals, but his all-round play and his leadership as well. It's obviously it's hard to say because he wasn't there tonight. You never know how the game might have went, but you know, we hope to have him back with us fairly quickly because he is a huge player for us, has been over the years, and you know, we miss him, but hoping to have him back shortly.
One more. I guess, you know, at the end of the day, the team is still now the only winless team at home in the league.
Mhm.
Does it feel like I guess, I know it's tough, but does it feel like the first win has been coming, or, you know, I guess is around the bend?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been games here that we should have won, no doubt about it. But we have given teams encouragement that have come and played here by giving up goals or not being quite clean with our play. So it's funny because over the period of time I've been here, the home form's been really good. So strange for us not to have had the win yet. We've had a lot of games away from home, but you know, the games here have been disappointing because we haven't got that win yet. But you know, over the course of the season, I'm sure we'll be picking them up. You know, we've got another game here Wednesday night. It's just about getting that feeling back of winning. You know, we had that stretch there when we didn't lose in 9 games. Now we've lost 3 in a row, so hopefully that's coming to an end, and you know, Wednesday we can go again.